AI-powered bots have made its way to almost every industry, more so in the pandemic. In a bid to improve customer and user experience, these bots are a milestone in technological innovation. One such bot that we will be talking about today is India's first AI-powered virtual event smart assistant bot for the virtual events industry. Called Versa, the company behind this innovation is Keystone, a market leader in integrated marketing services. The bot is designed exclusively to interpret data straight from the registration process itself, with AI driven algorithms provide personalized recommendations to the organizing company over content based on the audience's area of interest, assessing their job profile. This feature will transform the customer experience and add more value to virtual events. In the first phase, Versa fully empowered to filter recommended sessions, resources, and people can interact with all based on event teams' areas of interest and event topic and sector. To know more about the technology, its market significance, current and potential scope for target sectors, and how going forward, for the first time ever, virtual events will have more power over sessions, Analytics Insight is in conversation with Piyush Gupta, President of Keystone. Hi Piyush, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Apurva. Thank you. Thank you for the lovely introduction. I think you've done well in that space.
So let's begin the podcast on a great note with you briefing us about the company, its specializations, and the services it offers.
Sure, sure. So Keystone has been in business for 24 years now, and the core reason for our existence is solving sales and marketing problems. We've always been focused on that, and we keep integrating services or products in our portfolio, which helps us do that for our clients. The way we go about is we say you should have a product or a service. Taking it to the market, selling it, reaching out to the customers, partners, we can do all, right? We work with some of the largest brands, in the tech space. We work with the Dells, Intels, Googles of the world. You name the large tech brand, and we'll be working with them, right? There, the work is a little different, where we are, helping them implement their global strategies in the country. And then we work with startups where we are, consulting them in the go-to-market space, where we're taking their product or service and helping them generate leads and close the deals for them. So that's where we are as an organization. We are, in India. We are a global organization, so we're in India, Singapore, and US. Those are the bases that we have, right? And so service is one part of our business, and tech is one part of the business. What you spoke about, Versa, focuses more on the tech part of our business, which again focuses on the sales and marketing aspect. And as we move on, we'll talk more. But as an organization, it's two halves: service, technology, focusing on solving sales and marketing as problems.
So to solve these very, company specific problems when it comes to marketing, how has your role in the company been, and how are you driving the teams forward to innovate?
Oh, yeah, I've been here for a very long time now, but what we've done, and I've always focused on keeping customer as a focal point, and what is the requirement there, and then add the services. So when I took over as someone leading the organization, we were having some of the services, and not all. Tech business was not part of it that time, but few things that happened in this journey is we've integrated a lot of solutions together to be able to solve the problems in the right way. The other thing we've done is we've built a whole data science team. So data analytics have become a very, very important part of our journey. And I have helped put that team together to make sure that, the number of data that we collect. So if you look at, the different services that we have, we create millions of records in a year, right? So this data team has, been put in place to make sure those records that we collect, we can make sense out of it and provide the solution. The other thing I've helped do is build the tech team, which is where the uh, tech product has come out. Versa is part of that. There are a few more other tech products that we've innovated and introduced to the clients. So that's another role that I've played, and taking it international. So when taking it to different parts of the world is another role that I've played. And we've built a good team over a period of time, which is now able to, our leaders in that space. So someone who leads digital for us or tele for us or events for us, they're all, names in the industry where they can compete with anyone for that solution. So I've kind of played that role in making sure that, being a small time agency to a mid-size multinational organization, if I can put it that way, is what I've done over these 10 years of running the organization.
Like you mentioned, data analytics has become a core part of the company. And in that space, this technology is helping, you and the team build Versa. So
Right.
can you elaborate how Keystone is contributing to the disruptive technology industry, be it AI and even data science and analytics for that matter?
Oh, yeah. So what we've realized, a few years back is, while we were trying to solve the problem, we were trying to solve the problem more from the experience and knowledge and not data. When we introduced the whole data piece of it, we are able to now, consult the clients and guide them in a more objective manner on how to spend their marketing dollars. Uh, so, for example, look at telemarketing as a division that we have, right? We've got 150 people making calls on a daily basis, right? These calls are being made to, all kind of people. You have managers, CIOs, CXO level guys. Now, one way to do earlier was to, just continue to make those calls, and then, and then as a science, like, okay, I'll reach out to so many people, and hence so many people should be able to convert from a lead point of view, right? But now what we've done is we've put a whole system in place where the tool is called CP360, where we've introduced data analytics and data science to it. Now, using natural language processing and few other tools, every call is now being monitored effectively. So now we are able to say, okay, if we have 150 people calling, who's the most effective and who's not? Which customer is more likely to come to an event or more likely to buy a product? So every call has a number to it, basis few scoring patterns that we've created. And after every call, we are able to automatically say that this is a positive call or not, right? Using some of the tools that I mentioned, which means that we don't have to have a large number of callers to achieve a certain result. There's a lot of efficiency that's been brought in. We are able to more accurately predict who's going to be part of an event or not, or which company is more likely to buy a client product or not, which itself is a big thing for our clients, because for a certain amount of dollars, they know the predictions are so right or so accurate that it just helps quarter and quarter to achieve those results. That's where the data is playing a big role for us, and we're just adding more and more to the whole business, both in the service business and the tech business. In the tech business is a little more, because as we spoke about Versa, now we've on our virtual platform, we've had about closer to about 1.5 million people attend the platform. And the thought of building Versa was also that it's can it learn and solve a problem? We've kept technology in that two spaces. Can the tech learn, and can the tech solve a problem? So Versa is also built in that way, where we thought, is she able to learn the profile? So what she can do right now is look at all these 1.5 million people who've attended and bucket them into certain avatars and say, this is how a CXO is behaving on the platform. This is how a CXO -1 would consume content on the platform. who's more likely to attend, who's more likely to miss, who's more likely to spend 60 minutes on the platform, who will spend about 20 minutes on the platform, and so on and so forth. It's huge amount of data that's being put in place, right? And after that, what she does is she's able to compute those data and then guide the individual, and every individual is guided personally on how to consume content on the platform, how to kind of whom to connect with, right? There are thousands of people on a online platform, so she's able to do that using data, using learning, and every event or every activity that happens on the platform, the behavior pattern is being studied, and then being able to give an outcome that if you want to do a particular kind of event on the platform, this is how you can use Versa, and this is how you should build the platform. So that way, the amount of data that we have. So for any analytics and for any AI, data plays a very important role. The algorithms can be made, the tools can be made, but if you don't have the data, the learning will not happen, because the learning happens through that. What we've managed to do is, because of the service business and the tech business, right, and the sheer number of people that we reach out to for the services that we have, right, we are able to give that kind of data to the tool, which then is able to generate the results that make sense. It's able to learn a lot. So it's there. So that's where the data analytics and Versa come in place for us.
Are there, any clients or key partnerships that are driving innovations in Keystones with regards to data analytics or AI, or in any way are any of the clients contributing to the growth of these technologies in the company?
Clients, I'm not sure. The only way the clients contribute is by by doing their business with us, because that gives a lot of learning data to the tool. So that's where the clients contribute. But we have few partnerships across the globe, with a company which works along with us in the natural language processing. There's someone who works with us in multi-language kind of a thing. There's someone who works with us in building AI tools for us. So there are different partnerships which are there globally. And we believe in those integrations, because we're very sure that not everything we can do, and there are some brilliant work that's been happening across the globe, and we try integrating with those players and putting the solution together, and that kind of always helps to learn and grow and solve the problem.
To make sure all the teams are in sync in the company,
Right.
so innovations can happen, and through that coordination, Versa
Right.
is out now. So to bring all the teams together, to make them brainstorm, to help them collaborate better, how
Right.
has your role as a leader changed in the company, and how did it change even more so since the beginning of the pandemic?
I'm glad you asked this question. Obviously things were difficult initially, because you moved from, being in a physical office space to a virtual office space. When we were in the physical office space, it was, in that sense, it was relatively easier to come together and then brainstorm on what is the problem that we're trying to solve, right? And then put a process together, structure together. So one role that I've always played is, I've been a bridge between what the client wants, or what's next from a tech point of view, and the problem that we can solve, and then the team internally, which is how do we solve that problem and who can play a role in that. So that's the role that I've played with the team, and as a leader, I would say I've had to evolve myself on how to connect with them virtually, and then still keep them excited, still keep them focused. One thing that I've learned in that, while building tech products, whether it is, Versa or other tech stuff, is that, that tech guys have a certain way to look at things, right? For them, they will look at from the code point of view, right? Uh, but it's very important to keep the customer at the center of it. Focus on that, and then build your solutions around it. So the role that I've played to keep the team, very focused on, whatever we're doing, are we keeping the customer at the center of it and solving it or not, right? Uh, what we've managed to do is, for example, it's been now 1.5 years. Uh, we monitor the progress on a very regular basis. So we have a morning call every day, obviously leave the Sundays outside. But, with the development team, there is a call which is there, which we don't miss it, right? On a daily basis, which has helped everyone to be aligned to the bigger goal of the organization. As a leader, I always believe that, what we want to achieve, everyone should know the last mile so that everyone can add value. And we've kind of kept that open forum always, where people can come and challenge you and saying that here it is, this might not work, you might approach it in a different way. So that's one thing we've done. The other thing for the innovation piece of it, what I've always kept is we've kept a team which only focuses on innovation. That what next? How do we add more value? How do we create more, out of the data that we have? And that's helped us, evolve Versa to a great extent. Now, for example, what we're trying to do is, while Versa is, in the virtual space, it's the first AI bot globally. I've not come across anything like that, right? What we've managed to do as a team is to say, okay, how do we also solve offline problems? And we are taking it to that level. Now, as a leader, that's another thing that I do, or I try to do, is try to tell people to start thinking that we've come here, what next? And, I think over a period of time, everyone has got used to it, whether pandemic or non-pandemic situation, of how to connect, virtually. Podcasts have become a big thing. We're doing that now, right? So having chats online has become fairly easier for everyone, and the processes laid down, the tools that we use to kind of make sure that the communication happens in a way that everyone understands it. I think that's a role that I have played overall, and we've done okay so far.
You mentioned that, in the company, you are the bridge between the clients, and Keystone. So what are some of Keystone's offering that are making an impact on the industry?
Sure. So, so like I mentioned initially, we are in two bigger buckets, the Keystone offerings. There's a service offering and there's a tech offering. The service offering is where, if you have a product or a service, what we do is we first set up a sales team, which is where the manpower division comes in for us, which can actually go and sell your product to the customer offline. Right? That's one thing. So we have people in retail stores and direct selling guys and stuff like that across the country who are doing that. So that's one service that we provide. Then once you have the sales team, then what you need is a good marketing team. A marketing team for us constitutes of three larger buckets. One is the whole telemarketing team, which is the team which is going to generate leads over the phone and pass it on to the sales guys. Then we have the whole digital marketing team, which is a team which is helping create brand awareness online, and then making sure your website is right, your mobile apps are right, you're reaching out to the audience in the right way, you're communicating in the right way. So that's the digital part of it. And then the third, which ties the whole communication piece of is the Marcom, where how do you communicate to the customer or the partner becomes important. What we've seen is, because these teams are different in different organizations, at the end of the day, what is being communicated gets lost. Right? So that is where we come in. We say we will integrate all of this, and help you achieve your sales and marketing goals, right? So that's the service part of the business, and there's a lot of data and tech involved in this service also, so that when we are giving a solution, It's objectively driven. Then comes the tech part of it. The tech part is where we have the whole virtual event piece online, where we are able to do launch events, training events, learning events, employee events, sales events online. In a very experiential manner. So that in the virtual space, there are three big pillars for us. There is experience, there is engagement, and there is data. Everything we do is in that, within that gamut, which is there. So that's the virtual event part of it. We've been doing it for last year and a half now, and globally. That's one business which is there. Then we have the whole virtual experience showroom, which is trying to build center of excellence for our clients, trying to build make e-commerce more experiential, buying experience a little more interesting. So that's the other product in the tech space that is there. We have we are coming out with a hybrid app in the tech space, so that again we can bridge the gap between offline and online using that app. That's there. We have Versa, which is a AI bot. So there are quite a few products in the tech space that we keep developing, which again focuses on connecting the brand with the customer and the partners and sales guys and stuff like that. So that's how our services span out.
Were there any major challenges that Keystone had to navigate to create these customer-centric services?
So knowing the customer becomes the biggest challenge, right? Not every time a customer is coming out and giving us that feedback that helps us to understand the problem statement better. So that was one of the biggest challenge, and is always the biggest challenge, that will one customer problem multiply with others or not? So there is a significant amount of research that has to happen to solve that. So that's one thing which is there. Second thing is, when you're launching a tech product, the timing has to be right, and the customer experience has to be beautiful. So that's been a journey, because every time you pick up a tech product, put a timeline to it, invariably you miss those timelines, because you in that journey you continue to evolve, keep changing. Different people come in and try changing the product in a certain way. So that's an angst that I have, that can we kind of build a process where we can get the products out in the time, and to explain the guys on what is required. And the biggest challenge in all of this is, while there is a visual image of what is required, when it transforms to an actual product, will it match with the visual image or not, is always a challenge. So these are three bigger challenges that I faced in the journey of this transformation. We've kind of learned from it, have overcome it quite a bit, but some still continues to be there, and we're still learning and seeing how we'll solve those problems in the coming years. But it's been okay. It's not been very bad, if I put it that way. It's all solvable.
So, because you have been in this industry for quite a while, I'm sure you have a lot of insights that, can help our listeners. So, what is your prediction for the future of the virtual events industry, and how do you see bots playing a big role to, leverage the untapped potential of this industry?
So one is, virtual industry is going to be very big. No questions about it. The world is moving towards digital. Over last 1.5 years, it's moved faster. It will continue at a much faster pace even after things open up. So that's there. How will it evolve? We are all learning. I'm also learning in this space, honestly, on how it's going to evolve and in which direction it's going to go. But because there is an overdose of virtual, also let's get it right, because there are overdose of virtual. And if I just take event as an industry, let's do that, because that itself is a $1,300 billion industry. So it's a large industry. When you do a physical event, you kind of hold the audience, once they are in the event, you can hold them there, because they've traveled, they've booked the day, and now they're in that physical venue. But in the virtual space, that doesn't happen, right? In the virtual space, if they don't like it, they can just log off and they're out. You don't control it. So to understand the audience becomes very important. Whom we are talking to becomes very important. Using the right tech becomes very important. Learning about the individual becomes very important. How your content is evolving becomes very important, right? There is a concept where for the millennials, there is a disruptive content which is there. So earlier the content was that, okay, you have just something going on the screen and don't do too many changes there and just keep someone talking to you. That's about it. But now it doesn't work like that. Now you have to have content which is kind of popping up, giving you some directions of, okay, you can click here and listen to or go to another section of the page and stuff. That is becoming more and important. How the chat on the platform is becoming more and more important. How are you networking with people is becoming more and more important. So from where I see it, it is evolving basis how the customer is evolving, and virtual events are going in that direction where you're learning about the customer and you are then accordingly helping them communicate. It's not about what I want to talk to the customer, it's what the customer or the delegate wants to do online. I think once you're able to understand that, you can put a solution together and look at it. You break the future into three halves. You have very large organizations which are more settled and they know which direction they are going, right? There are small and mid-sized organizations, and then there are startups, right? Startups, again, I would not touch too much because they are in that phase of trying a new product and then building a new business is different. The largest segment, which is the small and medium size, is where the confusion lies, right? And where the bigger focus has to be, because they are the ones who are neither there in the digital space and not letting go of the on-ground space. So they are the confused lot, and there are huge numbers of them. So if the tech can focus on them and help them move to a digital world, whether it is through virtual events, whether it is through experiential events, whether it is experiential, e-commerce, whatever helps them to move to the digital world or the virtual world and connect with their customers is where the focus should be, right? I know virtual events have, scaled up big time in last 1.5 years and it will continue to grow, right? But small and medium-sized organizations are still not very sure whether that's the route they want to take. So how do we help them in business in the digital world? I think that's where it is. And, tech like Versa, which can understand the customers a lot more and can, while it currently focuses on the virtual events only, the moment we take it out from the virtual event and start doing the matchmaking in a larger way, these small and medium-sized organizations will benefit that, okay, I have, because they don't have too many dollars to spend. So if I have, X dollars to spend, can Versa help them to decide where to spend those dollars and whom to spend those dollars? So I think that's where the tech should move on, where, just what tech can do, but it's about keeping the customers at the center point and solving their problems. The moment we can do that, I think huge, upside to it in India and across. That's where it is. And it behaves differently, right? The India market behaves differently, international behaves differently. US is more developed, so there the approach is a little different. India, the approach is a little different. So I think as tech guys, we need to understand that aspect and build the products accordingly.
From understanding the audience, knowing how to use tech, and how to create it in a way that it is interactive, having the right content, to connect with the audience, and of course, a service like Versa that holds the potential to transform the industry and start a new trend are just some of the many insights I'm sure the listeners might have gotten at this point. So thank you so much, Piyush, for giving us your time and joining this conversation.
No, thank you so much, Apurva, for having me. It was nice talking to you.